Well, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to give you the highlights of our program, and then we're going to take a break and see if you've got any questions for us. You'll also have an opportunity to meet our team. So let's get started. So if you don't know our story, I was a teacher at lots of different grade levels in California where we lived at the time before we moved to Florida. And we had a son, still have a son who's now 33 years old, and he raced motorcycles. I did not know that motorcycles was going to take us across the United States. But as it turned out, Michael was a champion at the young age of 10, and he had a Kawasaki contract, and we had to travel. And my husband said, I know my team has heard this a zillion times, and we probably wish we had a dollar for every time my husband told it, that I was going to have to start homeschooling our son. And I literally said, over my dead body, because homeschooling scared the crap out of me, excuse my French. And, having, even though I was a teacher with a master's degree, having to be responsible to take education into our own hands 20 years ago was just something that I didn't think I was prepared for. I have to tell you, it's the best decision that I have ever made. Today, my office is in my motorhome wherever I go. Our students can do their schoolwork wherever they go. They can have, instead of an 8, 9 hour day, including homework and maybe beyond 9 hours, they can have a 3 hour day and focus on the things that they love. So, we believe in a commitment to our students and their families, and we're here to empower you, on this new adventure. And that's our story. That's how we got started. Our vision and mission is very simple. We believe that pursuing an education is possible while chasing your dreams. And our shared mission to make educational success is achievable for every student. I believe that every student has the opportunity to be successful. And we have a track record with On Track that shows that. We've identified 5 core values at our school: family, passion, respect, integrity, and fun. We actually had a team building activity to identify those core values as a school. And it's very exciting and empowering that our team feels the same way about those values at every different level. Our beliefs, I think it's really important to say these out loud. Instead of saying what we don't believe in, we choose to say what we do believe in. And we do believe in God. We believe in the Pledge of Allegiance and school choice. We believe that students own their education and we teach them to be accountable. We believe we are a community and together we can move mountains. I do want to take a moment to introduce our team. We have a very strong support team. And so I'll start with Tasha. Tasha is our Chief Operating Officer. Maybe Tasha, you could say a quick hello.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, someone just came to the house and the dog's barking, so I apologize. Hi.
It's okay. And I'll go ahead and I'll go through our team for you. We have a Director of Education, Michelle. You'll be hearing from her in a moment. Wanda is our Director of Excel and Student Success. London is our Director of Human Resources. Erica is our enrollment team lead. So if you are interested in enrolling, you will be meeting with Erica. Kenzie is our Curriculum and Shipping Specialist. Teresa is our accounts receivable specialist. Lakin is our onboarding coach for K-8. Amy is our engagement coach for high school. And Sarah is our engagement coach for high school as well. So we want to empower our families to engage with our staff. You're not out there by yourself. And this is something that was very intentional when we built the program, because I wanted to make sure that there was full teacher support for our families. So Lakin and Amy and Sarah, after the onboarding process, make sure that our students are in their homerooms and that you're going through that orientation process so that when that gate drops, you are fully prepared. So thank you, team, for joining us tonight. And I'm going to turn this over to Michelle, our Director of Education, and she's going to share our track record. If you will, this is our report card. So go ahead, Michelle. Okay, guess what? I don't know. Michelle, can you
Okay, I
hear?
got it. Yay, I'm
Okay.
here.
Oh.
So sorry about that. I had to join from my phone. I couldn't join from my computer. And I'm at my remote office, AKA my mom's dining room, because we had a storm and no internet at our house. But I'm here and I'm here to help you and I'm here to help your student with success, which is our next slide. So we do just have some things listed on our slide. We have our retention rate. And as you can see, we do have a large retention rate for our returning students. We're up to almost 70%. Um, Graduation rate is 14.8. 7% of our student body are from new students. And then we do have a small amount, 8.5, withdrawn and looking for education back to brick and mortar or elsewhere. Um, the next part of our slide is our assessment data. Um, we just compiled some of the data from our starting at 8th grade up to 12th grade from our IXL results. And as you can see, we broke it down into ELA and math. And we do have growth, you can see across the board from 8th grade all the way to our seniors. And the strongest growth point is starting in the 8th grade. So we have our students work on IXL weekly in their classrooms and, try to grow as much as they can throughout the school year, week by week. And then our next picture is of the graduation rate. We have 100% graduation rate within our school, and let me see, the last data was from this year. We have the 100% of our graduates. Last year we were at 99, and each of the years going backwards, we are just a little bit less than that 100%. But we're always striving for the best here on track.
Well, thank you, Michelle. I did want to say something about the retention rate. So when you look at the 70% of returning students, we lose 15% of our students because they graduate, right? So if you add those two together, the retention rate is really close to 85%. But
Okay.
you can go
Yeah,
on.
and I just want to point out too, sorry, that the national average for actual graduation percentage is 87%. So we're well above the national average for our students graduating. So
Awesome. Thank you, Tasha.
Okay, and our next slide is tools for success. We're always aiming for student success here on Track School. So once your student enters and starts with us, they'll have to go through an orientation process. So from grades K through 12, we have orientation for our students, and they'll learn about the things that they're going to use in the classroom, the tools, how to get logged in, their different accounts that they would have to manage. So that begins with orientation. Our orientation process for new students is for a week. And then after they have finished the orientation, they go into their classrooms. And when the student gets with their classroom, they again will have a classroom orientation. So we want our students to be successful right off the bat with their different orientations. And after the classroom orientation, that's when they'll begin their classes. And once they get into their classes, we still want to continue with that success. And our tool in the classroom is live learning sessions. Live learning sessions are provided in all of our core subjects, and they are throughout the week. They go from Monday till Thursday and scattered, and we try our best to not have anything overlap. The learning coaches will review the topic and start on work with their students. And, if your student is not able to attend a live learning session, we have recordings in the classroom. So we understand that we have students from across the globe and that not everyone can attend the same live learning session. So the live learning sessions are week after week in their core subjects. Um, The next thing for success we use are our learning materials. And the learning materials are provided right in the classrooms, and they include the recorded live learning videos or the recorded learning videos, skill practices, interactive lessons, and your access to digital text and other materials. And after our learning materials, we have diagnostic testing. When a new student enrolls, they take their first diagnostic test. And usually that is at the beginning of the year. We have diagnostic testing throughout the school year. We have middle of the school year and end of school year. And we want to make sure that our students are growing and achieving their goals. The next is power traits. At the beginning of your orientation, when you're joining our school, we have power traits, and it is a tool that is useful for the students and the learning coaches to see how the student best learns. We want to understand how your student learns and what works best for them. It's personalized just learning experience, and it includes the individual interests and increases student performance. And so right now, when you're a new student, we have that. And when students are entering sixth grade, they'll take it again. And when students are entering ninth grade, they'll take it once again. So we try to take these piecemeal bits of our school year or your school, I don't know, outlook, and at different learning ages that we think are appropriate to have the power traits taken again. And then does anyone else want to add to the tools to success for us?
I think that really sums it up. I will say that we've been using this power traits assessment since I started on track school. I thought it was amazing. I know the founder of that company, the Success Institute, and it really gives you a blueprint of how your student learns best. I thought it was fascinating that, my husband thought everybody in our family should get up at 8, get to the table, get breakfast, and go to school. Well, when we had our daughter take this, and I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but we have to be open-minded, right? It shows you their best window of time to do school. And some kids, if their best window is in the afternoon and they can get it done in the afternoon, it's best. And I realize some of us are on different training schedules, but there's more information available from that power trait assessment that helps to personalize learning, like Michelle said. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
So our programs and tuition, Tasha's going to discuss this with us.
Okay, so let me see. Let me turn my camera back on. So we have a variety of options whenever you join our program. Obviously, we have kindergarten through 8th grade. That's our kind of lower grades. They're broken up in K-5 and 6 through 8. So there's 2 different teams that work with your students for those grade levels. High school pathways, we have a variety of ways that your student can expand on their educational journey and achieve their goals in high school. So we offer dual enrollment. We have honors classes. We really try to go the extra mile to support your student and whatever it is that they're trying to achieve after high school. We also have the apprentice program, as Andrea mentioned in the beginning. So Miss Meredith helps oversee that program, as well as Zoe helps kind of coordinate things for us on the social media side of that program. But there is an actual course that goes along with it. And we've had a handful of students or apprentice participants, I guess, actually take the course and participate in the program, where there's a live week of shadowing, and then we've taken it to a pro level. So we can get into that in another webinar, or just contact us for other questions. But again, we have a multitude of high school pathways, and we try to customize and personalize everything for your student and how they learn best. We've just introduced and came around our pilot year of the Excel program. It is more asynchronous. It's definitely on a recommended and approval basis. So if you're interested in that, you can contact our team and we can tell you more about how that program works. But it is more asynchronous. We basically slow it down to where students take 2 classes at a time for 12 weeks. And we still, accomplish the same goal. It's just at a different pace and a different format. We offer summer school and summer enrichment, and we also have a virtual summer reading camp. All of this information is in detail on our website, so you can sign up for any of it today. As far as the summer school and summer camp, you'll see the link right there. You can go straight to our summer camp page by using ontrack.school/summer. And you can visit our website, www.ontrackschool.com, to find out more about these other programs and pathways.
Awesome. Thank you, Tasha. I know we might be going fast, but we are going to stop for questions pretty soon here. But I think what really makes On Track stand out than other online schools is our sense of connection. We are more like a family than a school, and I'm really excited about that. So, and our kids are excited about that too. If you check us out on our social media, you'll see that our kids are very involved. So we have a homecoming dance every fall at Gainesville in Gainesville, Florida, for grades. I think it's 8 to 12 now. We'll have to update that. Prom, we have a prom at Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. And if you have not been to Loretta Lynn's ranch, it's really fun. It's like a vacation. It does take place at a motocross national, but there is so much that you could do at Loretta Lynn's. Plus, it's next to Nashville. That's really fun. We have a graduation ceremony at Loretta Lynn's also every year, and a full cap and gown celebration and dinner for the families. We've actually put together a scholarship race with the AMA. So we did start out in motorcycle racing. So a lot of the things that we do revolve around some of that terminology. However, we did develop with the AMA a way for these athletes to earn scholarship dollars towards school, and those dollars go into a 529 savings account and must be used for either vocational school, private school, or college, and can also be transferable to a family member. Student events that we have throughout the year include other fun things that we do online. We just had Penny Wars, and we have other fundraising opportunities, and encourage our parents to get involved with that. And of course, we have our social media. We do monthly podcasts. We bring inspirational speakers, whether it's a nutritionist, a trainer, or somebody that our students have expressed interest in hearing with. So that's fun too. Then we've got our testimonials. We have a testimonial here from an ambassador, and we'll share these slides in this recording with you so that you can look at this at your own leisure. Ricky Carmichael graduated in 2023. There wasn't a pathway for Ricky to graduate. He became a pro racer and had to drop out in order to keep up with his career, and he came back. Wanted to graduate before his kids did, and he did it by just a couple of years. So we're really proud of Ricky for that. So it's never too late. We have a family giving their testimony. Brandon Olson graduated with us 2 years early. That's totally possible. And he became one of our apprentices that, Tasha just talked to you about. And then one of our learning coaches, Miss Tiffany. And more testimonials are available on our website as well. And Tasha, would you like to talk about, oh no, this is my slide, sorry. Okay, so we talked about the scholarship opportunities. We talked a little bit about the apprentice program, and the apprentice program is really like an internship, kind of like the way schools have a CTE pathway, career technology education. So we have that built in as an opportunity for our students to actually go see what it's like to shadow different people in different areas, whether it be broadcasting, event planning, social media, media content, and actually give credit for that. So that's a program that's very much growing and trending in our country. We talked a little bit about our ambassadors here tonight, but we do have scholarships that open up in the spring. And we encourage our students to take part in that application process. And we honor almost $50,000 a year towards scholarships through On Track School. We do have partners, and if you want to know any more about any of these programs, um, in the chat, maybe one of the team members can just type in ontracklearningsolutions.com, and that's our nonprofit side, and that will go into greater detail for those opportunities. And school choice is a passion, and Tasha's going to tell you a little bit more about this in a second. But I'm not sure if you're aware, but in our country, there are up to 22 states now where the tuition dollars from your tax payments follow the students and pay for their private school education. This is very exciting because I do believe in school choice. I believe that parents have the right to make the decision of where their child goes to school, and they really shouldn't have to pay their taxes for a program that they're not utilizing. So our team has taken a great effort to make this available to on-track students. And these are the states so far that we're working with. And Tasha, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Yes, so there are a lot of states that are getting on board with school choice, and each state is a little bit different. So if you visit our website, you'll see a in the top banner, there's actually a menu option for school choice, and it'll go into detail for all of these states, as well as link out to the different websites for the application for the parents, and then kind of outline, what you can do and how you can use the funds. But for the most part, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Utah, West Virginia, and we're working with Alabama right now. So we hope to have, once we get that one finalized, and we'll have that information added to the website as well. But for those of you in Florida, I know there was quite a few in Florida. We'll go in a little bit more detail. Really, all of these states. Make sure if you're interested or you know someone who's interested, regardless if they use it for on track or not, there are deadlines and due dates for applying. So make sure you check all of that out. And again, you can find it on our website.
Awesome. Thank you, Tasha. I know that your team works really hard on that to make those funds available for our students. So we'll pause here and make sure that we're addressing any questions and answers. We know we have quite a few from Florida, and we have slides with step-by-step process to actually go ahead and make sure that you are getting your application in on time. But before we move on to Florida scholarship questions, are there any questions regarding, what we've presented so far, or maybe what we haven't presented so far? You can go ahead and raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat, and I'll call on you.
I had a question about the teachers. I saw that you guys call them learning coaches. Are they certified teachers, or is that just something that you just use the term learning coaches?
That's an excellent question. So they are teachers, they are certified. And when I began this program, I just really liked the term learning coach, because they partner with students and help them on their learning journey. But yes, they are credentialed teachers. Excellent question. And thank you for joining and asking that question. I see Lori has a question here. How many hours are rehired per day, per week? I think you mean required, right? So it depends on the grade level. If we're talking about a K-5 student, it's going to look different than it's going to look for a high school student. The K-5 student, depending on the grade level, depending on motivation, depending on whether or not we're really utilizing that personalized power traits assessment to identify how they learn best, could be anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. If they're middle school, it's going to incrementally go up. Maybe it's going to be 3.5 hours a day. And high school could be up to 4.5 hours a day. But I will tell you from experience that if our students are really motivated it is possible that they can get their work done Monday through Thursday and be on the road on Friday, going to, compete. There's so many different ways to do it. All of the work is actually available to our students, and they get to decide how they fill in their week. And that's where that Power Traits assessment comes in, with our engagement coaches going over those results with you. I hope that answered your question, Lori. And then we have a question from Kathleen. Is there a school calendar, a certain schedule for the year? Yes, we're more on a traditional schedule, but it kind of is interesting because you could continue over the summer with summer school courses that we're actually registering for now. There's credit recovery courses for the summer, and there's actually a virtual summer camp. This year it's based on reading, which is really kind of fun for the kids. So we start in late August and we go through just shy of the middle of June. And there is a calendar. We do take off 2 weeks for the Christmas break, and we take 2 weeks off in March for spring break. I think we also have a week for Thanksgiving.
Andrea, can I add to that real quick too? With the Excel program, with it being a little bit more, or it's asynchronous, so you don't get access to the live sessions as you do in the standard pathway or the advanced pathway, but that one can be more year round. It's set up in 4 terms. So you can do the 3 terms throughout the regular school year or a 4th term over the summer, and it just kind of keeps moving. So that one has a little bit more year round functionality. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. That's okay. We do use Google Apps for Education. So speaking of the calendar, students all get a Gmail email address when they enroll into OnTrack School. And with that comes the Google Calendar, Google Chat, all these features that we use to communicate, Google Classroom, and parents have access to all of these tools as well. Okay, from Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Thanks for joining us. Do you allow part-time online and part-time on campus at a brick and mortar? Well, that's a very good question. We're looking this year at working with some gymnastic studios. We've worked with motocross facilities, training facilities to actually put a hybrid platform together like that. So that is something that we're working on. It depends on where you are, but if you're looking to, if the question is, and you may have to pop on your mic, but if the question is, can my student sign up for 2 online classes and stay in their current school? That I don't know that most schools would work with you on. We do not have a brick and mortar location. We are 100% online, but we can work with any sports location that wants to honor, having students continue to do work there on site, and we can support them.
If I can interject there too, again, it just depends on your school district. Like Andrea said, she's not, it varies, but we have had a lot of students, surprisingly enough, do that, where they supplement their brick and mortar classes that they're actually going into a in-person school, and they take online courses with us. So again, with our mission being to personalize, customize, and really support your student on an individual basis, we can talk to you and do a consultation and see what it is we can do to best support your student. So,
Well, thank you for that, Tasha. I learned something new, so that's good.
absolutely.
Well, I know that there was a time we had football players that also raced motocross, right? And they would come in for a semester and they would work with us, and they would go back to school, and the schools would work really well with that. But I'm really excited to hear that schools are working with us for a couple of classes. That's awesome. Okay. You're welcome. All right, Charisse, I've enrolled and paid the early bird application fee. This is for the upcoming school year. Wanted to find out what the next steps would be. Okay, we are going to talk about that. Okay. So let's talk about that right now. Tasha, what is the next step? Or we can turn this over to Erica, whichever one feels they can answer this question best. I'd like to put it in the hands of our people that are processing enrollment. What is the
Yeah.
next?
Sorry, if Erica wants to, if you want to respond as well, but Sharice, we appreciate you being here and I definitely recognize your name. So we're getting ready for the next school year, so you should be getting information shortly, but typically when we're kind of transitioning school years, there's a little bit of a gap in getting the information to our families just because we have to do that transition. But you'll receive an email from Erica, and Erica, if you want to take over and kind of let her know details or let everyone know details of the next steps, feel free.
So I saw Erica popped in and popped out. Maybe there was a connectivity issue. Erica, are you? No, she popped out. So I would say that the next step is that we, Erica, are you
Yeah.
here?
Sorry to pop
Yeah.
in. It's me, Kenzie. Um, I will say I am working on adding in the pre-flight year for the next school year, and we'll be having those emails out in the next 2 weeks, hopefully, for those students coming in next year.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Kenzie. Okay. Shauna, I'd be very happy to meet with you for a consultation. So we'll share, this is our contact information. So make sure you get in touch with us and we can set up a time to discuss. So the cost is actually included on the slide where we went over programs and tuition, and we'll share these slides with you and this presentation with you. If you're not on one of the school choice states, Tasha, do you want to give a range of tuition for our guests?
I'm sorry, guys. So range of tuition for what grade level?
I would
Is it
Third, fourth grade, like K through 5.
third, fourth grade? Okay, so our K through 5, so basically K through 12, kindergarten or K through 5 starts around 5,200 for the school year. So that's for the traditional school year. You can make monthly payments, 10 monthly payments, 12 monthly payments. We work with you on payment plan. And then it scales up to, depending on how extensive you want to get with your pathway, it can be anywhere, upwards of 6,800 for the school year for a high school student. And then again, we have dual enrollment for college credits and things like that. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Tasha. I will tell you that April 30th is the last day to enroll in our early bird. So every year, the month of April, it's 50% off the enrollment fee. And the enrollment fee annually is $350. So you can definitely hop on, on our website. You can press get started and you can go and make sure that that's taken care of. And then, of course, pathway meetings and follow-up meetings will take place to help you throughout the process. Awesome. Thank you for that too, Michelle. Are there any other questions that we can help with? Our team is amazing. You can email us, you can call us, you can reach out. We are very much available. We know that this is a really big decision. And I will say it must be a little intimidating if you have not been an online learner. I know that's why I said what I did to my husband when he suggested homeschooling, but we are a private school. We are accredited. I know that didn't come up in our questions this go around here, but accredited means that there's an organizing body that validates everything that we do, that our teachers are credentialed, that our curriculum meets state standards, and we are nationally accredited and internationally accredited. So we have students literally in every state and as well as 15 to 17 other countries. So we have specific guidelines that we have to follow. And that accreditation protects you and your student so that if you are transferring to a college or if you are transferring out back into school for one reason or another, that transcript is accredited, and that means that that school must accept those credits. So I wanted to make sure that was clear too. But online learning, I would tell you that our team, I think in a virtual environment, can respond to your student almost faster than they could in a physical classroom. And I really must give a shout out to our teachers. I thank all of the teachers that have joined us today. They are amazing. So if anybody has any questions for a high school teacher, a middle school teacher, or an elementary school teacher, please go ahead and ask, because you have an opportunity to hear directly from one of our teachers. Hi, Adam. Thank you for asking your question. Are your curriculum requirements available on your website? Would love to see the course lists if possible. We do have a course catalog. I don't believe it's on our website. We're still updating. Our website is new and we update it all the time, but we do have a course catalog. And if you would like to go ahead and send us an email, we can share that with you.
We do have, oh, sorry, if you are interested in summer courses, that is listed on our website under the link that I shared in the slide earlier.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Tasha. Do you have, this is from Eric. Thank you, Eric. These are great questions. Do you have any drafting engineering-like classes for middle school or high school? That is a very good question. So that would probably fall under a CTE internship opportunity, but I do not believe Tasha, we do not have a drafting engineering class for middle school, correct?
Not at the moment, we don't. But again, with things like that, we've been very creative in the past for students and some of the requests that they've had. So we're always open to things like that. We've actually created some of our classes based on requests similar to that. So if it's something that you're really interested in, we can work with your local school district or, just your local community to find something that will translate and still support you in our environment.
Awesome. Thank you. And Kelsey, thank you, Kelsey. I love this question. For younger students like a K5, is there a good way to continue the social aspect of school? Of course, we have our Moto community, but as far as fellow students. So I would say that, we do have Miss Kylie here, and maybe Kylie, you have something that you can add to this, not to put you on the spot. But I would say that our young students attend those live lessons and they get to know each other and they form a community. They have celebrations, holiday celebrations, end of school awards, and things of that nature. And I know our Moto community, I would say that our students are very social. There are other ways that you can add socialization. A lot of our students get to know each other if they live close by and partake in other, extracurricular activities as well. But does one of our K5 teachers have anything they'd like to add?
Yeah, so I actually have a son in my second grade class. So I'm speaking not only as the K-3 teacher, but also a mom. There's lots of opportunities just in our lives. We do a lot of interactive games. We have our Google Chats, and some of these kids play Minecraft together. I mean, they're doing all sorts of stuff. They're so cute with their bonds. I love how close they get when they see each other in person. They're like best friends. But even outside of On Track, my advice, actually, this has been a great fit for my family. We have a homeschool co-op in our area, and my son goes twice a week. It's 3 hours a day. They have options for like full days, or we just do half day. And you drop them off for 3 hours and they get a teacher instruction that they can bring their coursework from here to their learning pod. And there's a teacher that can kind of help them out and tutor them. They do reading and social studies and science experiments. But the main part, the reason why I send him is because, one, he doesn't like to listen to mom, and I'm his legitimate teacher here at On Track, and also his mom home coach. But the main part for me is the socialization. So, and that's been huge for us. So there's tons of options in your area. If you join like a Facebook homeschool group, There's lots of meetups. We do field trips all the time. Lots of opportunities within On Track and outside of it. So thoughts to consider.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Kylie. I think co-ops are amazing. I don't know that many of our families utilize that, but I think it's really great that you were able to find something like that, especially in your area. I would think that that would be really popular. So for sure, that's something to look into. Thank you.
Andrea, it's Chantel. I just wanted to add something to that that I know a lot of our fourth and fifth graders do. So we use Google Chat here as one of our means of communicating to the students, but the students also use Google Chat to communicate with each other. And that can look like a text, but it also, they can use the chat to initiate a one-on-one live meeting with each other. And a lot of my students will do that. They will meet up and complete their schoolwork together and just kind of chit chat about it that way. Or even like Kylie said, they'll meet there and they play some of our Look It games or Minecraft, or they do other things as well in there. So that's been, I think, as far as socializing with their peers, but outside of just the classroom, that's been the biggest avenue for them, I believe.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's cool. I love that, when Kylie said when they see each other, it's like they're best friends. When these kids go to an event and take a group picture and they just seeing each other for the first time, it's like they got their t-shirt on and they're all about it. And who knew that a class picture would bring, so much joy, kids running to meet other classmates. It's taken 20 years, but I think with this team, we've made school cool. So I'm proud of this team for doing that.
And I'd like to add in there too, we just introduced a cookies and cocoa event for the younger grades at Minio's, and it was such a bigger hit than I think any of us expected. I think we ended up having over almost 300 kids there, but a lot of them were on track students. So just the connections that we're able to make, whether you're moto or not moto, we always try to post those things and make sure that we're getting out and including as many of our students and families as possible, and always invite you to any event that we go to. But we do try to do things in person as well to engage with our students.
Yeah, that was really a big hit. And when you mentioned that, Tasha, it's also a community for parents because it's great that the kids have these socialization opportunities, but our parents form a community as well. And I think that's super important. So there's opportunities for parents to connect with each other and support each other here as well. We have a family Facebook, which is really fun. We love when our parents get on there and ask a question and other parents can answer, and our team is there to monitor and jump in as needed and share their information too. Before I forget, there is a question down here about what does our enrollment look like for high school? I would say that half of On Track's enrollment right now, we have about 500. We were up to about, because we had a lot of early high school graduates, but we were up to about 528 students this year, and half of our students are high school. So I think our graduating class last year was about 89, and I think our graduating class this year is looking about closer to 80. So it varies, grade to grade.
I was going to say, Andrea, I have some stats on that too to talk about. Currently, we have 282 high school students. Ninth grade, we have 74, 10th grade, 81, 11th grade, 62, and 12th grade, 65. But our graduation rate is closer to the 80 because we had some mid-year graduates too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great when our students can be so dedicated and supported that they can graduate early. And that, yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Michelle. That's really helpful. So with that, we will jump into the Florida slides. If you pop out, because we're focusing on Florida My Scholarship and Step Up for Students, because we knew we were going to have some Florida parents, please remember, reach out to us, email, call, and our team is here to answer any additional questions. I realize it's a really big decision. The step up deadline, and like Tasha said with the other school choice options, you could go to edchoice.org. That covers it tells you where your state is and specific scholarships and deadlines across the board. So I think that's important. And our early bird ends on April 30th. So if you're not staying, thank you for joining. I hope that you received some information and got to know a little bit about On Track School. And we'll go forward, Tasha, with the My Scholarship slides. Thank you, Adam. And thank you, Michelle. Bye, Brooklyn.
Okay, so for those of you in Florida, and if you have not already been awarded or funded your scholarship for the Step Up for Students scholarship, then you would need to go to the Step Up for Students website and apply. I believe the deadline to apply is April 30th. So please, make sure that you go and do that. When applying, if you want to use the funds for On Track, any scholarship will work. I know most of our students do, or most of our families use the PEP scholarship. But if you plan to use My Scholarship to pay for, the curriculum tuition for On Track, then you can have the PEP, UA, the private school one. I think that's the FTC. So any of the scholarships will work in My Scholarship. But we've got the steps right here. So once you go in, once you've been funded, you can access My Scholarship, and then you can see, here are the different steps to find us. It can be a little tricky, but we've got them listed out. So just follow step 1, 2, and 3. And then, 4, 5, and 6 right here. So you're ultimately trying to get to this view where you can find our curriculum. Teresa will work with you, our accounting specialist, on your invoice and what that looks like as far as My Scholarship is concerned. And if you, let's say, you have a balance that is less than what the product is, then we'll work with you on making that adjustment, or however it is we need to adjust that for you. So the steps are listed here, and like Andrea said, we'll have this available we'll probably put it on YouTube, and we'll send you a link, and then if you've registered here, then you'll also get a copy of the slides as well. We'll email it out to everyone when this is over with. So any questions about My Scholarship or the Step Up for Students?
I added the link to Step Up in the chat, and that'll take you to the application that Tasha's talking about. And then from there, you can see what you'll be, awarded. So thank you, Tasha. I think having those step-by-step screenshots is so important, and we can definitely share that out.
Absolutely.
Okay, maybe we can just pop our contact information on there one more time. And if there aren't any other questions, again, thank you to our team. Thank you to our ambassadors. Thank you, Zoe, for all your hard work on this as well. Zoe helps us with, she's our creative assistant. She does amazing. And thank you, Tasha and Michelle, for helping present tonight. I really appreciate it. Hey, thank you. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Awesome. Thanks,
Bye.
Petley. Bye.
Oh, so